Hey, how are you doing? This is your girl Ray Renewed, Rahab Renewed. It's good to have you back. So, today I want to talk about a very sensitive topic, and I'm really hoping that you will go with me and we can just ride and along. And I'm hoping to do a practical. Yes, you can follow me on Rahab Renewed on Instagram, on Facebook, and also I have a page on Facebook called Ray Speaks. Kindly just touch that button and follow back, and feel free to ask any questions. I want to bring an interesting story because I want to tell you how much sex is powerful, how much for men coming or ejaculating or pouring your sperms is very powerful, and it takes part of you. And yes, my advice for you is, if you're not married, try sperm retention, because basically what happens with sperm retention is it's absorbed back in the body and you become alert, you become strong, you become more focused, because the sperms is absorbed back into your body, and it helps you spiritually, mentally, physically, and sexually. Yeah, so I'll explain as we go on. But I like basing my word more on the Bible, and also I would want us to basically ask each other questions and answer each other. So today I want to talk about a guy called Onan, and we read about Onan from Genesis chapter 38. And I want us to start reading from verses. Basically, this is about Judah and Tamar, but I want us to, let me start from verse 1, but my emphasis will be more on verse 8 and 9. Okay? So let me start from verse 2. This is when Judah left his brothers and went down to stay with a man of Adullam named Hira. In verse 2 it says, there Judah met the daughter of a Canaanite man named Shua. He married her and lay with her, meaning he had sex with her. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son who he named which is E-R. Verse 4 says, she conceived again and gave birth to a son named Onan. Okay? And she gave birth to another son and named him Shelah. So let's jump to verse 6. Verse 6 says, Judah got a wife for now his first son, yeah? And her name was Tamar. But Judah's first son, was wicked in the Lord's sight. So the Lord put him to death. Basically, the Lord slew him, yeah? Excuse me for that. And then we go on in a very interesting verse 8. It says, then Judah said to Onan, lie with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty to her as a brother-in-law, to produce offspring for your brother. Let's pause there. In the olden days, in this culture, and we have some people doing it in our African culture, when the first son died, then the second son would inherit his wife. Okay? And what this verse basically means is, Onan, inherit your wife's brother. Then when she gives birth, the first child is now considered the first son's son. So that means his genealogy will not die. It will continue to live on through the first son who he gave birth to for the brother. Okay, so if you're two brothers and the first one dies, you are to inherit your brother's wife. And then when she gets pregnant, or when you have sex with her and she gets pregnant, the child, the first son, if your brother was called Kamau, then your first son becomes Kamau's son. So the genealogy of Kamau, or the genealogy of Mukuru, or the genealogy of Kemathi, or whatever you want to call yourself, and in this case, the genealogy of Judah's first son, would continue. I hope we're together till there. So verse 9 is a very interesting verse, and I want us to read it. And it says, but Onan knew that the offspring would not be his. So what did he do? So whenever he lay with his brother's wife, he spilled his sperm or his semen on the ground to keep from producing offspring for his brother. So he would pour outside. It's a form of family planning, as they tell us today, but he would not allow himself to ejaculate inside the woman because he knew deep down that that child would not be his. This offspring would not be his. And so verse 10 says, what he did was wicked in the Lord's sight. So the Lord put him to death also. According to God, what he did was selfish. And so the Lord was so mad with him that the Lord decided, I'm going to kill you like I killed your brother. This is a form of wickedness. So my question to you, my viewers, is every time you pour outside, you pour on your hand as a man when you're masturbating and you ejaculate on your hand, or you ejaculate on your bed or mattress or your bathroom or your pants or your boxers. How is it towards God? If God would kill a man because of that, how much more you? Now, I want to get deeper in this and tell you that there is a research that was done, and it takes a man 3 seconds to ejaculate. And they were saying that the power that man, the sperm that he ejaculates in those 3 seconds can feel, it becomes to about 1,500 GB. That's about 1.5 or 1 terabyte. Imagine a hard disk that is 1 terabyte. By the time you're seeking to get another hard disk, what kind of information would you have to store there? How many movies would be stored in 1 terabyte hard disk? Now that's the power you release, or you pour, or you allow someone else to swallow, or you pour on a woman who is not connected to you. There's an aeroplane passing, so I know there's some noise. It's past. So my question is, when you're pouring this, when you ejaculate on a woman, how much power are you releasing? That is a generation you're pouring. Those are girls and boys you're pouring. That is my vernacular Bible says his strength. He poured his strength. That is what the Bible says. His strength. So what I want to do right now is basically I want to show you an example of how your strength gets abused. You become weak spiritually. You become weak every time you masturbate. Your mind delays. We're not talking about junkies. We're talking about masturbation. You become slow. You cannot retain information. Anything you read, that is why you're flunking your exams. That is why you're not productive in school, because it's making you become slower. You're basically killing yourself. You're a walking dead man or woman. More so a man, because in you is a life force. For you, you are the head. You are a powerhouse. Every time you ejaculate, you become a weakling. Now imagine how many times you've had unprotected sex, or you've had protected sex with random women left, right, and center. You are just you're killing yourself slowly. Every single time that you come and you ejaculate, and for those 3 seconds you kill your lifeline. That is why people are having premature ejaculation. That is why you're finding that women are not getting pregnant, not because they are not fruitful, but because the seed coming into them is useless. Basically, there is no strength in this seed that you're giving us. I just want to talk to the men out there. I want to go on the spiritual aspect of this, and I want us to basically do an experiment. I came with a condom and I want to tear it. I don't know how they do it. I know that, but I'm not an expert in this. So basically, this is a Rough Rider. I don't know what you use. So this is a condom. It's meant to roll over. So that's the tip, and it's meant to roll over. I hope my nails don't tear it. So once it gets on a penis, this is how it looks. And as we can see, for those who have used it, we know it is lubricated. Okay? So when it's used, this is how it looks. So I have some water, and I want this water to act as your, imagine this water is your sperm. So let me pour it. I have a glass. So basically, that's your sperm. I don't know if you can see it. So assuming, of course, it's meant to be a whitish cream or something, but that is your sperm. So usually when you sleep with a woman, I want to show you the spiritual aspect of how crazy this is. You may not die, God may not kill you, but a woman has the power to kill your seed. So you've taken a room, or you've invited a woman over to your house, and she decides, okay, honey, because we can't flush this down the lodging or down the toilet, it's okay. Let's assume you took a room, a B&B. So, and maybe you're in a hurry, you received a call and you need to go. So she tells you, it's okay, honey, I'll dispose it for you. So I want to show you why some of you are struggling, because this is your lifeline. We decided to put water here so that it can act as your seed. So if you slept with me and it wasn't all that, or you treated me bad, this is what happens when you sleep with a loose woman. She takes your seed. You left it behind. She decided to dispose it for you. And she speaks to it. And she says, this is a contact. Okay? So she says, this man, virtue of me having your seed, I speak to your generation. You will never succeed. Your generation is as good as dead. You left it with me innocently. We had a great time, a one-night stand. But because I needed a contact point, which is your seed, I can speak curses or blessing to your seed. Where are you pouring your seed? Yes, Onan, God eliminated him. How many women are eliminating your generation? How many women are speaking over your seed and claiming that this seed you left behind will amount to nothing? That everything you touch will never flourish. That you will never be above, you'll only be beneath. Some women bury it. They take this and they bury it. Remember this woman, all she wanted was a good time. All she wanted was your money. And you treated her like trash. And some people are just malicious anyway. So she'll bury it and say, as I bury your seed, you will never grow. So in your life, you discover that everyone in your family is growing. They even lend you money to do business, but your business never flourishes. Because of this, your lifeline just became weak. your generation just became weak. And it may take you years before you rediscover yourself again. That is why most of us have never fulfilled our purposes. That is why destinies are cut short. That is why people are dying prematurely because of pouring their seeds left, right, and center. And now they want to become gay. That is how it affects you spiritually. When you have sex with a woman, in the spirit, you're married. Read the Bible. And Abraham knew Sarah, and Isaac knew who, and Moses knew who. Every time the new word means you got intimate with your partner. So how many partners have destroyed your power? This is your power. Be careful how you use it. Be careful where or who swallows it. Be careful who destroys you. I've never seen anyone die because of lack of sex. Never. Men, be careful. This is your power. This is your strength. This is your generation. Wacha kuimwaga ovyo. This will kill you faster than a bullet. Faster than a bullet. Be thou careful. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to me. I know it's crazy, but think about it. Take time, take a breather, think about it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you just listening to me. I would want you to feel free to ask absolutely any questions. And by God's grace, I will be able to answer. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a beautiful day. I wish you a beautiful weekend ahead. Take care, man. Take care. Thank you. God bless.